1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go. All right, let's do it.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop two. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on Ciroc and I'm sipping on Octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they local. I ain't never gonna stop rapping.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Web3 Weekly Alpha, brought to you by Serpunk, where we cover everything that is happening in Web3 in the digital renaissance in the last week. And we're going over charts, we're going over markets, we're going over a ton of NFT news that is happening right now and crypto news under the radar. I'm super bullish about it. And let's go ahead and dive right into all the great things that happen in the wonderful world of Web3. And of course, we always like to start off with the markets and some charting. So to start off, we have Bitcoin here. The leader, as always, we like to gauge where it's at. So we have it on a weekly, and we did have that big breakout last week on volume. Not only that, but also in price action through some multiple key levels. But again, we did go over that this 30K, 29K area is a pretty solid resistance. So far, we're kind of holding near that area, and hopefully that can continue. The longer we hold there, the higher probability that we can actually get through this level. But just keeping my eye on it, and hoping that that happens. And as well with Ethereum. Ethereum needs to hold this 17 area. Its previous resistance hopefully turns into support now. But right now, it's just kind of wiggling up and down below that level. So watching those in the short term. In terms of altcoins, there's really nothing going on. They're kind of super choppy or just coming down. It seems like all the attention has been on Bitcoin and Ethereum in this last move. Moving into some NFTs. So NFTs were down horrendous last week. We talked about there was not much going on, and this week has been really not any better. So CryptoPunks really was where the market was at in Blur. Airdrop farmers were going crazy. As you can see, the price action is just wild to both directions. It looked good for a minute going through that 70 ETH mark, but of course in this market with Blur and their incentives, you really can't trust any price action. So that move instantly failed, and we went to the completely other side of this channel. As they say in markets, failed moves cause fast moves, and this is exactly what happened here. Hopefully we can hold inside this channel, and we can continue to hold in there, and you know, sideways is better than down. So I'm hoping we can regain this channel here, but right now we're below, and it's not looking good as we speak. Same thing with Bored Ape Yacht Club. We like to start off with the leaders, CryptoPunks, Bored Apes, anything else that's showing some sort of relative strength. Bored Apes is still below the support level on the weekly. It's holding up a little bit here, but nothing to get too excited about. Same thing as Mutants. They they tend to kind of move in parallel. Azuki, which is one of the more stronger price action NFT projects out there, it pulled back. We got a trend line and a little bit of a basing support area here, and it's trying to hold and watching that area to see if we can, or if we lose it as another sign of weakness. I don't ever go over soul projects, but these things were sticking out like a sore thumb. D-Gods and Utes are breaking out as the NFT market is melting collectively. So as you can see, D-Gods on the daily is really breaking out of some levels here into some all-time high, I believe all-time high territory. Same thing with Utes, even though Utes is kind of pulled back heavily. We know that NFTs is an anticipation game, and with that news today coming out about them being able to migrate over to Polygon, maybe people are taking some profits into that. And of course, that's nothing new in the space. All right, so Serpunk, I wonder who that is. Shout out to him where he says, crazy to think that D-Gods is at around an 8 ETH floor currently. And when you compare that to the top ETH NFT projects, it's number 3 behind Bored Ape Yacht Club and Azuki. And it's pretty incredible that D-Gods is able to hold that kind of price, especially in this market, and especially being on a completely different chain. And I'm really interested to see what happens to their price and their community once now they're migrating over to that Polygon and Ethereum, like Utes will be on both chains here. So interesting stuff here. And moving over to some of the so-called blue chips that have just been melting for the last several weeks in a row. Artifact continues to melt, nothing much changing there. Same thing with Moonbirds. Moonbirds is nosediving. It's getting close to that original mint price around 2 ETH. So you hate to see it. Same thing with Doodles. We're getting in some pretty, heavy selling levels here. And at some point we need a rally, but again, never advised to catch a falling knife. Did the screen come off, PJ? Okay. Okay. Doodles is looking about the same, where it's really selling off really hard. We're getting near a support area, but again, I never advise trying to catch a falling knife. But at some point, these projects need a relief rally. The FUD is at ultimate lows, and sentiment, all that is as well. Cool Cats, not looking great. Down last 3 weeks in a row. We're getting close to below 1 ETH mark, which, is kind of wild comparing to all-time high prices. Can't Buy Pandas, not doing too much as well. Is the screen good? Oh, okay, blanked out a little bit on mine, and then it's kind of like half off the screen. Yeah, but it's got a little white on the bottom of the screen. You don't see that part? Oh no, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. It just glitched, and then I for some reason thought that happened. But yeah, we're good. You're right. Can't Buy Pandas. This broke support last week after breaking this long-term trend line, and it's just kind of holding tight there. Let's hope we can hold this moving average. Checks, which we know has been the story for months with Jack Butcher. It's at support here. It's really been down only for like 5 weeks in a row. Got below that 1 ETH mark. Let's see if we can get a relief rally off this important support level that's been an important spot 3 times in a row now. Same thing with Pepin has just been down only. There's really not a critical support here in the near term, but if the market starts to turn, I'm sure this will go with it. And of course, this has that anticipation baked in with Jack Butcher revealing different steps of the PFP process of the eventual PFP drop for this project. The potatoes from the meme land ecosystem. Potatoes and captains are showing some of the most relative strength, almost some of the only relative strength in the market right now. As you can see, it's been up the last couple of days, and it's not too far off of all-time highs. So something to watch there. There's some real strength in this ecosystem, as you can see with captains as well. Captains ran up big into some previous news. We came all the way back, gave all those gains back, but they bought the hell out of that dip pretty heavy. And now we're right around that 5 ETH mark. So we got a decent resistance here. So I'm not expecting too much, but maybe that reveal is potentially coming soon and somebody knows something. Who knows? Price usually equals news. Pudgy Penguins, one of the strongest ones in the ecosystem as well. And as you can see, it did break support and it's kind of hanging below there. Need to see some action here. Killer Bear is getting a little bit of relief rally off this support level. Nothing too exciting. On-chain Monkey, we hit that resistance, pulled back as expected, and trying to hold that 2 ETH mark now. All right, so shout out to DeFi Digital. Well, they illustrate here that liquidity in the NFT space is at an all-time high. And as you can see from the charts, the market has taken advantage of that to sell their NFTs. We've been down only for a while now. Machi Big Brother, who has been one of the biggest whales in Blur, and we've talked about him numerous times in the show. Of course, I believe he's right here where he says, don't blame Blur, your NFTs are growing to zero anyways. And he's probably right. I think deep down we all know that. All right, let's jump into some of the things that could be impacting the market, some more charts and great data. Of course, we always have some sort of tweet from NFT Statistics, always putting out that fire data. And here, while big crypto punks were trying to break out prior to failing, there was a huge divergence between punks and the rest of the blue chip market. And he illustrates that here perfectly. And of course, as we can see now in hindsight, that did not last very long. And he illustrates here also that punks had incredible volume and it had a record level of sales in one day, 65 punks ever sold by a single wallet in one day. So pretty wild. And shout out to Cyrus, the great NFT trader, who says punks just did 10,000 ETH in volume in 15 minutes. The bid and ask spread has been 0.01 ETH all week till the farmers all rushed into the exit at once and nuked the top bid down by 7.5 ETH. Everyone's favorite farmer got left bag holding 70 cent of them, 74.5 ETH cost basis. So we've been seeing a lot of this. Be careful if you're playing this game because the floors can just come right out of you, come right under you, as we know that a lot of this demand is really not legit. And this is kind of what it looked like, right? The bid farmers were kind of propping up the floor artificially, and as soon as that game ended, the floor just, take the stairs up and the elevator down. All right, something interesting. Shout out to Cyrus, where he says, and this was actually corrected. It wasn't the first ever Bitcoin NFT backed loan, but it was the first ever ordinal punk on the Bitcoin blockchain loan. And interesting to see that the market is willing to give out 32 ETH for Bitcoin NFTs. So there's a market brewing there. And shout out to ALO, where we had the largest crypto airdrop in history, Arbitrum, which is an L2 ecosystem built on top of Ethereum. And here he illustrates 76% of the airdrop was claimed, and the process of the claim went really well. The price is around 1.45. Here you can tell it's actually lower now. We didn't see a drop below $1 despite being the largest airdrop in crypto history, but we are probably going to see that here. It's getting pretty bearish here in the short term, but that's pretty. It's pretty normal to see airdrops being sold or just bounce for a couple of days and then sold off. So it's nothing too surprising, but it's good to see that the ecosystem just got a ton of free money for using their platform, and most people have already claimed, and most of those people have already sold as well. And that's nothing new with the crypto market. So shout out to Treasure DAO, where they say here they're pleased to be the recipient of 8 million Arbitrum tokens, the highest allocation to be offered to any DAO on Arbitrum. As one of the earlier projects on Arbitrum for gaming NFTs, with Treasure being attributable to 95% of all related transactions on Arbitrum, which is huge. And it's cool to see Arbitrum rewarding their biggest builders on their chain. And they were definitely the top dog in terms of rewards for that coin. So Optimism, which is one of the other top L2 ecosystems built on Ethereum, they did their airdrop a couple months ago, and as you can see, it kind of went straight down for weeks. And I'm wondering if that's going to be the analog that we can use for Arbitrum in terms of price in the short term. It has pretty much skyrocketed since then, so sometimes you just got to get those weak hands, those whales out as they take their profits. Sometimes it ends up, this is also a common pattern when it comes to airdrops, where you'll get that couple day or few day bounce and then it sells off. We've seen that numerous times with Blur. It looks rare. So these are the two kind of patterns to look out for when it comes to the airdrop pattern. Moving forward to some Bitcoin blockchain NFTs, as War Daddy Capital, shout out to him, where he says pretty much Magic Eden has integrated ordinal NFT trading, and it's already 2x the volume of the nearest ordinals marketplace on Bitcoin. And we'll talk about a little bit more of that, because that was just released this week on Magic Eden, which now offers Solana, Polygon, Ethereum, and Bitcoin NFTs, I believe. Shout out Leonidas, where he says ordinals just hit another all-time high for daily fees spent inscribing. So that ordinals market on Bitcoin is still hot. Shout out to NFT statistics, where if you didn't notice from us just going over charts, this is the large cap PFP index, and it's just not doing well. Also, this was hella bearish to YouTube, show that this slide has shown every single component